Dropping truths and dropping truth bombs. Then welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday.
I want the truth.
Well, a big Shazam to you people. It's Tinfoil Tuesday. Should be fun. I got a different one for you today, and I'm doing this with no notes, no computer, no preparation. Just going to talk to you. Let me know what you think. How thin is the veil between us and the other, us and the unknown, us and the angelic? I'm telling you, I'm going to go in a couple directions today that might surprise you. Y'all know I love question marks. I have no answers for you today, but could be a train wreck of interesting. Let me know what you think. Today's train wreck is brought to you by CMMG. Every week I tell you how solid they are. Why? Because they're rock solid warranty, rock solid people, and you're going to love yours. Pick out your favorite color, pick out your caliber, and pick out your length. When you get to CMMG. Can't tell you where. Hey, use my code and you're going to save when you head over there. Big thank you to those folks. You people, thanks for every thumbs up. These are a lot of fun to do. Y'all have asked me repeatedly, both on here and on Rumble and on Patreon, when I'll talk and I'll say, hey, when I have conversations with buddies, I say this or I say that. And so many folks have said, hey, can you just talk to us like you talk to your buddies and maybe explore some things that you don't normally talk about on the channel? Sure, I'll do that. Might take some people off and hopefully, again, might make you think. So many people are way too narrow and in the basic building blocks of what they think about or how they think the world is. I know nothing. I know enough to know I don't know anything. Dunning-Kruger effect. I know very little. But I do know that there's more than the Lord, angels, demons, people. Too often I'll see in the comment section, just example, in the first episode of Tinfoil Tuesday, I was talking about the idea of the telepathy tapes, that it looks like there may be a way for nonverbal autistic kids to read the minds of their caretakers. And so many people just typed out, those are demons. I don't know, Ethel. The world is not really that narrow just within the Bible. And today's episode is really going to have some basic Bible-believing building blocks in here. And we don't have to agree on everything, but I think most of us for this conversation would have to at least go, you know what? There's something else. It's not just us here on earth. There is more in that. I believe in God. I believe in Yahweh, and I believe in the Bible. And in the Bible, this is where it gets cool. In the Bible, there's all sorts of beings. Too often, the people are like, angel or demon? There's more. There's a lot more. I don't know a lot about the Bible, but I was doing some Googling today and learning about seraphim and cherubim. And these words I've heard before, but then I'm like, what do they really look like? I found here some artist depictions of what more biblically accurate cherubim and seraphim are, rather than white dudes with bird wings and wearing a dress and Birkenstock sandals like you always see. I don't know. It's some wild stuff. The Bible talks about armies and talks about principalities and powers that are in high places or over top of cities. I don't know what that looks like or how that operationalizes, but I know there's a lot. Here's what I do know. I don't want to meet any of them. There's a reason, my opinion, that when you meet an angel or one of these beings, an angel just means messenger. When you meet a messenger, they're like, hey, don't be afraid. And I'm like, why would they consistently say that? Whatever they are, whatever they're about, I'm not sure. Now, how thin is the veil between us and them? And that has a presupposition in it that it's another place. It's another dimension. We live in a 4-dimensional world, up, down, left, right, width, breadth, height, and space-time continuum. But string theory says there's 10 or more dimensions. I don't know about that, but I can say this, that every people group, including my own and including yours, believes that there is something right there or right there. Like there might be angels in the room, and there may be like, and you hear that, people talk about that. And I've had people go, Johnny, you're so out there. Not really. If you've got the faith to be able to just close your eyes, or maybe while you're driving and say, hey, God, will you bless my day? Or Lord, help that person. Whenever I pass an ambulance, I will often pray for that person. I don't know what's going on. Lord, if there's anything going on, help them out. Just a little reminder that I have, if I can open my yapper and pray to somebody I can't, like right there or right here or right here or everywhere, You've already got the building blocks, so it's right there. Like there's stuff. There's another veil. Here's another thought. Now, this is just tinfoil. This is just me, but we only see a little bit of visible light. Visible light is just one little string of all the different wavelengths. And what if angels are considered in some passages beings of light? What if they're just a different wavelength that we can see? That's a wild one. I don't know. It's kind of fun to think about. This is not Bible doctrine class, so there's already King James only people banging away in the comments. This is me just having a conversation. Now, drugs are bad, okay?
Drugs are bad.
So my generation and above have been beaten into submission that drugs are bad. But they'll go take pharmaceuticals from a guy or a gal in a lab coat, and then drugs are just fine. Or something like an aspirin, which used to be tree bark, and that's fine. But then you take something like weed. Full disclosure, I'm not on weed, and I'm not going to talk. That's not where we're headed, Ethel. That's not where we're headed. But full disclosure, this is not what this is about. But there's a point. Every people group for the millennia, they take these things and they see things. And a lot of it is hallucinogens. Obviously, we hallucinate at night with dimethyltryptamine from our pineal gland, however you pronounce it, from that gland. However, and we got all this stuff going on. I think a lot of it's just like tripping. However, there does seem to be some consistencies in folks that meet beings from the other side when they are taking certain chemicals. Insert the name salvia. I've never taken it. I don't want to take it. I ain't gonna take it. I ain't messing around. My mom used to say, you crack the door to the devil, he's gonna come on in. So I've heard for many, many years that it's a drug where you meet the devil, and you hear that, or you meet them, or you meet the others. You get on Google, you read on Reddit, and you read about people's stories. You will meet them, meet the beings. But consistently, you take salvia, you end up sitting at a table talking to the devil. And people have terrifying, not good experiences. For me, when I talk about things that are tinfoilish, I love finding consistencies and patterns. And I'm pretty good at recognizing patterns or saying, hey, I heard that like 3 years ago in another story. And I start connecting things. It's part of my skill set. And consistently, people on salvia say, hey, and it's just a plant, hey, I met the devil. That's different than saying I was floating through a strawberry river talking to Sasquatch. That's different than getting high on mushrooms and being able to taste colors. Very different, but it's consistently over and over for many years. People say, I met the devil, I met the devil. So I'd heard that and heard that and heard that. I was hanging out, having a cigar with some guys. A friend of mine walked in behind me while we were talking about this. And I said, hey, G, tell me about, and this guy, he's in the know. He is in the know of all things that you can put into your body. Hey, G, tell me about salvia. He didn't even break stride. He walked on by and he went, you're going to meet the devil. And it's been really, really consistent. Some people in this world, the veil is thinner for them than for maybe me or you. And there's been a lot of stories over the years, and a lot of folks. Nikola Tesla, somehow he was tapped into something that regular people aren't. The actor Terrence Howard is in many ways, I think, off his rocker, but in other ways, he is communing with someone or something or angelic beings. And as a Bible-believing Christian, I don't know, but there are folks, Francis of Assisi, there's a lot of folks out there that commune and talk, and the veil is thin. Jacqu Valet, he is somehow communing with the aliens, and somehow they communicate with him. One of the wild things is that aliens consistently, when you read about them, the 8 foot tall ones, 7 foot tall ones, the big ones, they consistently, when you run into them, they say, don't be afraid. And that's the first thing they say. I find that weird. I find that wild. Some people, the veil seems to be a little bit thin. Some people, I believe, can take a chemical and see into the other realm. I don't think they actually go there. Here's the point of something, really my final point. I don't think they actually go there. I think they're walking up to the window and maybe wiping off the mist or the vapor between our realms. I don't know. As a Bible-believing Christian, this is really, really fun, but it has to end with question marks. For me, only the Bible can end in a period, and that's what we believe. Everything else is just fun to talk about. Now, said all that to say this. What do you think? How thin is the veil? There's a lot more out there. I am leaning and steering ever so slightly, bit by bit, the more I research and think about the aliens and what's in the ocean and what's down in the Bahamas or in the Antarctic or down underneath. There's something down there. There's ships down there. They fly around. I'm leaning towards Nephilim. I am leaning more and more towards they've been here forever and they didn't make themselves really apparent until we started lighting off nuclear bombs, and that's another story for another day. Insert reference to Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel. It's Tinfoil Tuesday, stream of consciousness. Let me know what you think. I'll see you tomorrow on Hump Wednesday.
Welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. We hope you sing along.
You want answers? Diabetes.